Hey, what's going on? Listen, I'm up late tonight. I'm just wondering, is there anybody else up late tonight? Man, that needs to or wants to hear the truth. Hey, the truth, I'm telling you, it's so important. It's important that we deal with truth. So, let me tell you what's on my mind tonight. What's on my mind tonight is the fact that where I live, the state of Mississippi, that we are dealing with even today in 2023 unbelievable racism, unbelievable classism, unbelievable economic injustice. And I'm sick of it. Man, I'm so sick of it that I can't hardly stand it. And man, over 30 years ago, hey, Alice, I decided that I would serve my country over 30 plus years ago. I decided I would be one that raised my hand and swore an oath to the United States Army. And here I am in 2023, and they're in court about whether or not appointed judges will govern a black and brown county, a black and brown city. That means that our state government, led by Governor Tate Reeves, made a decision and led the state legislature to introduce bills that would completely strip a black city and a county and the voting citizens would strip their right to choose their judges. That's what we're up against. And I want to be honest with you tonight, I think it just dawned on me tonight just what's happening. I mean, I know what's happening, but I did not really embrace the level in which it's happening. And I want you to understand something. I'm not one of those who cry racism about everything. I'm not one of those who cry, oh, it's not fair. But today I rode in the Midtown community, and what I witnessed in Midtown was unbelievable. But worse than that, you got wealth right across the street in the Bellhaven community. And I've always said the sickest form of poverty is when wealth and poverty can exist across the street from one another. That's what we're dealing with. And there are people living in unbelievable conditions right now, tonight. And our state government refuses. They've done everything possible to withhold and strip the city of Jackson and its mayor from any resources. See, a lot of you look at this and you say, oh, the city needs to fix this, the city needs to fix that. But I want you to understand something, that the reason the city is in such decline is because they deliberately and have deliberately attempted to starve the city of resources in order to take the city. And now they suggest and pass legislation to govern the city and to police the city by a renegade group of officers And I think they've forgotten. We hadn't forgotten about Jalen Lewis. We hadn't forgotten about Jalen Lewis and what this rogue group of police officers did to this young man and his family. And so it's so important that you hear me. If you're not from Mississippi, I want you to understand you're not dealing with a group of people that don't want better. You're not dealing with a group of people that are not going to work. You're not dealing with that. That's not what we're dealing with. We are dealing with unbelievable racist leadership that has, over the past 20 plus years, deliberately stripped the city of Jackson, deliberately withheld resources from the city of Jackson in order to control it and take over. That's what we're up against. And I know no one wants to hear this. Everybody wants to hear this narrative that is not true, this narrative that is not right. But I want you to understand something. My job is to tell you the truth. I'm not saying there are not some things that need to be fixed in city government, county government. But what I'm saying, much of that frustration is because of the racist, unfair government that is in place refuses to help this city. Let me give you a narrative of what's going on. It would be like in your household telling your spouse, if both of you work and both of you are putting your money in and both of you are paying the bills for the house, that one spouse takes his or her money away and says, now still keep things the same. What has happened, guys, the big influx and the running of crime, the influx of crime, the running away from the city is all a result of a deliberate attack by those who want to see the demise of a black and brown city. And I just need you to understand that this is what's happening. It is not that we have a mayor who is not competent. That is a lie. Our mayor in Jackson is very competent. And boy, it'll be amazing what could happen if we gave him, and if the government, if the state really gave this city what it is due. It is not that we have a police department that is just so horrible. Here's what it is. They are fighting with less than. That's what's happening. And I want you to understand. And so now the state goes and forms a police department, pays them more money, and begins to steal away JPD officers as well as other officers from other departments. They have no accountability. They have no structure. They are allowed to do what they want to do. And Floyd, I can't sleep thinking about it. I can't sleep thinking about the conditions that we're living under. I can't sleep. I serve my country. I lost my uncle, James Wiltshire, the first Mississippian to die in Desert Storm. I served in Desert Storm. But yet, this is what we're up against, man. We're up against a system that is designed for us to fail, and they're doing everything they can to rip everything out. Now, I want you to understand something. I do not want to pretend as if we don't have things to work on. However, the pressure that is created when you take one half of, remember the analogy of the household income, and you snatch that one half out, the pressure that is created to maintain what's happening, it creates the type of behavior that we're seeing. And I'm telling you, when guys come from 2-3 hours away and introduce bills and say they're not racist, say has nothing to do with it. And let me tell you something, they would not care if every black person killed one another except those that they control. That's what we up against. So I made some decisions. I did some real thinking and praying. And as a man, I feel like when I see a problem, as a man, I'm supposed to be a problem solver. I'm supposed to be a problem solver for my family. I'm supposed to be a problem solver for my community, my city, my state. I'm supposed to be a part of solving the problem. And that is one of the reasons why I made the decision to plug into and make sure I'm involved in state government. I believe I have a responsibility. But I can't do this by myself. I'm realizing more and more I can't do this by myself. I need support. I need help. When people say, oh, you're wasting your time, I disagree with that. The reason I disagree with that because somebody has to be committed to helping bring about change. Somebody has to do something. Somebody has to say something. And what I decided to be is a voice to the voiceless. I decided I would take a stand and serve. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, the greatest among you will be a servant. I made a decision to serve, and I need your help. If you live in this area, you live in District 29, I need your vote. If not, I need your financial support to help me run and help us run a strong campaign. How can you give $D Pickett for Senate? Or you can go to DwaynePickett.com. Either one. But here's what I'm saying to you. What I'm going to do is serve with vision, order, integrity, communication, and empowerment. I don't think there's anything we can't do together. I believe together we build, together we bring about change, together we change the dynamics of what's happening. But it starts right here. It starts with us taking courage to get on the front line. Dolores, Betty, Floyd, I decided to get on the front line. I decided because my pastor told me many years ago, you cannot change it from the outside. You can't do it. There's nothing you can do about it. Sitting back, playing like you really care. You got to do something about it. And that's the decision I made. I made a decision to do something about it. How? By getting involved and becoming a candidate for District 29. All I'm asking you to do, help me, help us. Join me on the front line as we seek to bring about change in this state and as we stand for what's right for all people. You ask, why am I up at 11:08? I'm up because I just can't take it anymore. And I hope some of you feel the same way. Let's get together. Let's do something about it. Hey, it's our time, but we can do it. Together, we can do it. So please, please, any way you can. No gift is too large or too small. No amount of help is insignificant. Your prayers are so needed. Let's change it together. So join me on the front line as we get ready to make sure that we have a government that serves all people. Hey, have a good night. I'm going to try to give me some rest, but it's on my heart. It's on my heart to say this to you. We can no longer sit back and think somebody's going to ride in and save us. We've got to get plugged in to the solution and be a part of what needs to do, what needs to be done. And for those of you that don't live in the state of Mississippi, you can support us. We need your help. I'm telling you, we're going to help ourselves, and we're going to fight for what's right for all people. All right? So y'all have a good night. I'm going to give it my best. I love you. Peace.